and your team, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you into Kirinyaga. My name is Julius Giri. I am the Deputy Governor of this county, and my governor is away to Naivasha with other governors. They are planning on how they can do a better exercise in the cooperative. Today is one of my days that I have learned about rice. Although I assume I am in where, I'm born in where, I think I've seen something that I had not imagined. And I want to thank the government, through you, Madam, for the input that has been put in this institution. And when it comes to work socially with the people outside, the county government is ready to partner with you so that mechanization in this area can come out well so that we can meet our targets. Thank you, because this government, as you told me before, has come to rescue even the poor people in this area and other areas. Because if we are left behind this time, we shall have nobody to blame. Because devolution has come to help even those who are under poverty, so that we can go together. I think my input and that of the government of Kirinyaga will focus on the activities that you people have laid on this ground, so that we can be a productive county. No wonder we have been labeled one of the wealthiest rural counties. With your input right now, we are going to move to the next level. I want to stop there because I'm still running. I'll continue observing, and I am sure by the end of the day, I'll be a different leader than I was this morning. Welcome, Madam, and address your people. Thank you.
Thank you, the Deputy Governor, the Chairman, MD and IB, and the rest of you, the Station Center, Kanya, and your team from Kilimo. Good morning. These are most interesting meetings where people never introduce themselves and we assume we know each other. So I'm not very sure. I have of the people in this room I know. But because I've been here before, today was the day that CS Felix was actually supposed to be on this tour. But it all happened again. He has had to travel to Brazil over business mechanization. So when you talk about mechanization and the need for us to move rice, but also other subsectors towards mechanization, you are just saying what is very, very key and central to us as the Ministry of Agriculture. So apologies, but also greetings from CS Felix, who has had to leave this morning for Brazil. Chairman and the Deputy Governor, you may be aware that we have a national rice strategy. And since you are learning a bit about rice today, then I wish to share that with you. The national rice strategy anticipates to increase production of rice across the country so that we move away from being at the level that we are importing more than 2/3 of our consumption. Malela, is that true? So that we move away from importing 2/3 of rice from Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, wherever else we are importing rice from, because one, we have the soils and we have the conditions. Two, we have the researchers. We have the will as a government. If you look at the money which is flowing out in terms of foreign exchange to bring in this rice, we shouldn't be a proud people in this room today. Right? So the way to move in the next couple of years is to try and pull out the strategy which is slowly being implemented and perhaps be a bit more aggressive in making rice serve the Kenyan people in terms of food security, but also incomes. And so many more times you will see us come back here. In terms of what the center director put, the issues of research and the challenges that confront you in the area of research, I think that will be said by any other researcher. But I think what is important is whatever is getting out of the research laboratories, we must pull up our socks to get that to the users and influence their thinking in terms of productivity, in terms of toxin control, in terms of everything, even within the limited scope of resources. I was with the craft board most of last week, where I sit and represent the government. And one of the resolutions that came out of the board meeting was that you, the researchers, need to try to influence the young people in primary school and in high school, so that when they have a vision of what rice can do for this economy, it's a very tender age, they are likely to make you the scientist as you exit. But what is happening is that there is a gap between where you are and whatever influenced you to be a rice researcher. If you start that early enough, it is highly likely you are going to have a critical mass to move this sector forward. So you need to be able to partner with other research organizations. Don't start at the university level, but move backwards to influence them as a very formative age. And I'll leave that challenge with yourselves. Mechanization, again, like I indicated, is important for us. Mechanization, the governor, you realize, is one of the removed functions. So indeed, what we are doing is holding your hand in the intervening period, and we are going to let you run with mechanization like we do in a lot of other areas. So it is my considered view at this point in time, you wish to start prioritizing your investment in that area. But we are getting some very interesting partners coming along. You know that the equipment which I'm about to inspect this morning is a partnership between the government of Kenya and Japan. Only 2 days, I think must have been 3 days ago again, I got Toyota. Toyota is one of our investors coming in to invest in fertilizer processing in the country. But because I knew what was happening in the 2K mechanization project, they also have offered to give us some equipment. Initially on an experimental basis, but by and large, also an area where we can expand and look at a growing partnership. We also have some interesting offer in terms of partnership from the Korean government. Again, they desire to see us partner beyond where we are in the area of mechanization. Equally important, like I did mention, the CS is out in Brazil and in pursuing mechanization on an arrangement that has been ongoing the last couple of years. I wish to perhaps indicate again that we will not be talking too much today. When we get out to the field, I think we want to see more than be told. We actually don't like to stay in boardrooms, unless when we are taking a cup of tea. But I'm pleased to note that 2 weeks ago, again, I had a delegation from this area, and they wanted to express the need for them to be put on an ongoing basis on the fertilizer, subsidized fertilizer scheme by the ministry. And I'm happy to know that that already happened, and that we have the first tranche of fertilizer already in Wanguru, is it? In Wanguru, right? And speaking to SCPB again on Friday, Saturday, I'm assured that what is being discharged at the ship, from the ship in Mombasa, part of that is also going to come here. The governor, again, just to remind you that subsidized or fertilizer and other inputs have actually been removed. We are a little bit careful at the national government that we will not assume you have all your acts together to do some of these things which have been removed. And therefore, we'll be working together in this area, and we'll perhaps be letting you know, going forward, how we see you playing the role of subsidizing part of the fertilizer that we bring in, so that the Moya rice farmers, again, are not left behind. Like you say, rich you are, as a county, rich you are, that doesn't go with it out. But cognizant of the fact that food security is one of the major gaps, we'll be careful not to assume that you are able to run alone as a county government. So we'll continue to work with you in the transition period, and then hopefully once you are in a stronger position, we should be able to move on to focus on other subsectors and other areas going forward. With those few remarks, let me just appreciate you for putting this together and say that I'll be pleased spending the next 1-2 hours in this area and coming back as often as I get invited. Thank you.